It's the end of the world as we know it. This is The Walking Dead. Fear it, because it's fear. And this is exactly what this episode stands for. Teotwawki. The end of the world as we know it. What a title. And this is where the episode peaks. The beginning. It's a TV commercial from 1996. We've got Jeremiah, Otto, looking a bit less decrepit, but honestly, the guy still looks old. I mean, it's Dayton Cali. The guy was born old. The guy, he's like Burt Young. They were never young. They were just always old. And here, he looks old. Whether it be 18, I believe this season's in, or 19 now. Well, actually, but that's the messed up thing here. Because it should be actually, The Walking Dead's timeline's 2010? Because Fear just came out 5 years later. So realistically, we're only about 14 years away for this commercial, but does he look 14 years older?
Fucking looks the same, looks dead. And another thing is, I mean, he pretty much looks the same age as he does now, which is probably about mid to late 70s. But his wife in the commercial looks really fucking young.
Take a seat.
And it's like, you've got to wonder, like, what age did he follow these kids at?
Yeah.
Because these kids are young. Now, you'd have to assume that Jake and Troy are like, I'd say it's at least 20 years later. If it's not 20, it can't be far off 20.
No, but see, it's from 96, and The Walking Dead's set in 2010. So how's that work?
So what they're saying is Troy's only 14 years...
Younger? Or older?
Older now than he was in that... Nah, I'm not buying it. That would put Troy at... I'd say that would even put Troy at 20, if that's the case, because he didn't look any older than 6. He definitely didn't look older than 6.
They should be around about early 20s, mid 20s, but for me,
that's not a big deal. Like it's one wee radio thing. So this ain't a deal breaker. But I tell you what, I do think is a deal breaker. Once you start messing up the timeline in the shows. So for example, when we see people crossing over for Fear into the original Walking Dead, and the timelines don't match, then I think that is an issue, and I think that's what we're going to get. Spoiler alert: we know that Morgan, Dwight, Sherry, all these people sooner or later will appear in Fear the Walking Dead, and I just don't think the timelines match up. Because there's been a shitload of skips in the original Walking Dead, but less so in Fear, so it just doesn't really make much sense.
No, it doesn't. What made sense, so this was the favourite part of the episode for me. I like Dayton Cali and just seeing these like old video footages about why he stockpiled for the apocalypse. And you know what? He was right.
It's not even just because you're right, stockpiling, but it's not even because he's in Sons of Anarchy. I genuinely just feel that when he's on the screen, he does feel like he's a level above everyone else.
I like the guy, but it's not like he should be a level above people in this show. I mean, this is produced by the AMC. They should. I would say Travis and him are the two actors that I've seen in this show, that, and maybe Strand to a degree, that I would say are like a level above. But Dayton Cali's clear, and then I would say it's Travis.
No, I like Travis. I'm disappointed to see him go. I think this show would have been so much better had it been Madison that died. I think
Travis leading her two kids would be more for an interesting dynamic than what we've got. What we've got is
it's just basically we kill off all the outsiders. We kill off Travis's ex-wife. We kill off Travis's son. And now we kill off Travis.
Yeah, like
and the dynamic that we had at the start, where it was like Travis was trying to deal with his new family, but not betray his old family, and still bring his wife and kid along without like pissing off Madison and getting Chris to accept Madison. I felt that was a dynamic that we needed. And we don't have it anymore. And I guess it's not the same, but it's got a little bit of similarities, I guess, to maybe The Walking Dead in Season 2, when you always had like the conflict between Rick and Shane, and obviously the Laurie factor. I feel like when Shane like went away, it kind of just became everyone kissed Rick's arse. And I think that's a little bit similar. I think since we've lost Chris, there's just no real tension in the group anymore.
No, there's not. But I'll tell you what the tension is. At camp, because they don't like the Clarks. The Clarks will come in here, they're freeloaders, they're not going to comply, they're not going to bring anything to the community. But we've lost people too, says Madison. I lost my Travis. And then Alicia gets invited to Bible studies. May as well talk about this. See weed and stoners.
I don't like them.
I hope they all fucking die. Or not.
Bit harsh, but I don't like them.
Right, maybe I'm over-exaggerating, but see people that make it their entire personality, I fucking hate it. Honestly, I don't.
I'm a stoner, man.
I hated this. I actually just, I get it. They're kids, they're teenagers, right? They can mess around if they fucking truly want to, but I hate this. This goes for everybody that smokes weed.
Yeah.
Like, see if you smoke weed because you've got cancer and you think it's going to help you, I think that's fair enough. But see these people, oh, I've got the munchies, do you want to watch Rick and Morty? Fuck no! They deserve to die, those sort of people.
But people say, I don't want to bash sharing weed, anyone that smokes weed, right? Don't unsubscribe. But, people make it as if weed, no, weed's a good thing, it's good for you, all this stuff. Anytime I've seen people take weed, it makes them slow, makes them unresponsive, makes them lazy, makes them non-productive. How are those good traits? How are those good side effects? I would say like coffee, at least coffee and energy drinks can give you a boost, give you a bit of caffeine, maybe get you through a couple of hours.
Bit of meth.
No, I just don't see the advantages of weed.
No.
Now you could argue it helps chill you out, but you can take night nurse, I mean, you can take anything, you can just go to sleep.
We don't have night nurse though in a zombie apocalypse. But talking to a head called Jeff did nothing for me and honestly made the episode horrendous. This part was
and I didn't like it because I thought Alicia was like smarter than this.
Yeah.
And when they brought out the head, I was kind of expecting Alicia to like, basically tell them all to grow the fuck up or something like that. But she kind of joined in, started taking the weed and started talking to the head. So I was like, right, well, she's supposed to be the smart one. This is something I'd expect Nick to do.
Yeah, but maybe it wouldn't be strong enough for Nick. Talking to Nick, him and what's his face, Troy, go out for a wee bit of hunting, right? We'll get to this a bit later on, but we've got Madison being shown the tapes by Jake. She's going through them. Jeremiah confronts her, like, not my proudest moment. I said, boy, not my proudest moment there, because he was bad-mouthing his kids, bad-mouthing his wife. So you look after that wee freak show bastard, Troy. And I need to do a 10th million retake. We know all about retakes.
Maybe he was right about Troy. And we do know all about retakes.
There's something about Troy. Alright, but they sit down.
It's a good film, Troy.
Right, this ain't Troy though. This is some pish, second-rate Walking Dead rip-off pile of pish. And Strand pulls up at a dam, right? And is wee racing green Aston Martin. He's like, I'm looking for the man. Whatever in his wee gay voice.
I'm looking for the man. Join the line. He kept getting told to join the line. He doesn't want to join the line. He gets taken down.
Dante, where is Dante?
Dante appears after Strand begging for Dante, but Dante doesn't seem impressed with Strand. And he looks like he's going to kill him.
No, yeah, I mean, it looks like he's going to kill him, but what the fuck is Strand doing?
Was expecting some sort of warm welcome, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, and this guy explains that the currency now is water because the rest of the world's gone and they own the dam and they run the dam and everyone from Tijuana in Mexico come to this dam for a wee bit of the water. Which, if you've got power, you may as well use it in this sense.
This is always going to happen, though. Like, currency. Water is the currency now. Does this necessarily make Dante a bad person? I don't know. I think you will always need leaders. I don't think there can be such a thing as we're all equal, we're all free, and we'll all take as much water as we want. That doesn't work. I think you always need and this isn't me trying to support the Matrix or whatever and trying to keep the 95 person down, but I genuinely believe that you do sort of need like leaders. There's always like a tier system in the world. Now, could this Dante guy be more fair? Yes. Does he have to kill people? Absolutely not. He's an arsehole. I'm not denying it. But I think even if it's in the world when it's thriving or whatnot, or whether it's in a zombie apocalypse, when you get groups, when you get like factions or communities, you're always needing a leader.
Well, see, my problem with this is, though, I think The Walking Dead just picks and chooses when they want to make something a big problem. And normally water wouldn't be. Normally people would just go and get water. But in this case, we've got an entire fucking dam with thousands of people lining up every day. What's going on? Like, seeing the normal Walking Dead, when was water ever made a big deal?
But it should be.
No, it should be, but they never did. Alright, when they went to the CDC and they got warm water, I haven't washed and showered in 7 days,
When you think about it, the only time food was really an issue was at the beginning of season 3.
Yeah.
When they'd been on the road for like 8 months and Laurie was about to give birth.
Laurie's about to give birth.
And Carl's about to eat dog food, but I think things like water, food, heat, warmth, things like that, like products as well. Things like would be more of a like reoccurring issue, but The Walking Dead only seems to want to deal with them at maybe like once for an episode, just
Yeah.
for a bit of a filler episode.
But Dante,
We're running low on food. Let's have an episode about finding food.
Dante brings Strand out to the balcony area, the work area, pushes a guy off, and then they take Strand. He's like, "Oh, you're going to work for me, man." And he hangs him over the edge. He's like, "You're a little rat. Did you even love Thomas, you little faggot?" Didn't call him that, but I mean, this guy seems pretty like high up, and
Yeah, this guy seems to have dirt on Strand.
yeah.
He seems to think that Strand didn't care about Thomas. Maybe Strand didn't.
But I guess he did steal for Thomas. We've seen those flashbacks, but again, this is like woke to me though. It's like these guys seem like cartel, and that Thomas guy was cartel, and like homosexuality just doesn't fucking fly. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit, but I mean, these guys should care, and for me, it's a bit ridiculous.
I don't think top cartel guys would want to deal with another cartel guy that's gay. I don't think they'd respect him.
Yeah, and
Honestly,
that's just the reality.
That's just it. I just don't think they'd respect him.
I mean,
I don't think they'd want to spend time in their company. I mean, these cartel guys, they want to hire, like, say they want to rent out a room or something like that, and they want to hire all these women, and you're like, Dante's going to sit there with two women on his fucking knee while he looks over, and you've got Tomas sitting kissing fucking Strand. I just don't see it.
in his wee silk blue pajamas.
I just don't see that happening.
But he locks Strand up, but he's like, "I'm going to throw away the key, hermano." Madison then pledges to rebuild in Jeremiah's new world, but they want Troy to take a wee seat back. But then, I think this was honestly the worst episode, the worst part of the episode. We have got Troy and Nick tackling each other. Nick then shoots the gun. Troy laughs. Nick laughs. He steals his book. And then he rips up the pages of the journal that Troy said was quite important to him. And then Troy's like, "We can now be friends." What the fuck? What was this?
So I believe he ripped up the journals. It was basically telling you how long it took people to turn. And I guess this is the only thing that Troy had to justify killing people. And then Nick ripped it up. And Troy was a little bit pissed, but then he started laughing. And he was like, "Now we can be friends."
Yeah.
So he basically said, unless this was like trying to be symbolic, it's like, "Look, your past doesn't count anymore.
Aye.
We'll move on. The reason you killed those people isn't important. You're not going to do it anymore," kind of deal. Was that what they meant by ripping up the the times it took people to turn? Possibly.
I thought he'd been pissed though.
I thought he'd have been pissed. But we'll see. I wouldn't trust Troy. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Then we cut to Strand. He's in his cell. He gets past the wall.
But no, it's a bit weird though. Before we talk about that, they said they couldn't live with Chris, and Chris was fucking what do you call him? Forgot his name already. Travis's son. But they're willing to live with this Troy guy,
who's a fucking psycho,
who was legit killing people.
Well, see, I think both have got cases like that.
No, but I just don't know how they couldn't even chance living with Chris. They couldn't even try a bit harder with Chris.
I think the Chris storyline was horrendous. Why he all of a sudden just had like a fetish for killing them.
Yeah, but I just don't understand how they decided pretty much straight away, no, he can't stay here.
Yeah. But
despite him being Travis's son, yet they're willing to give Troy a chance.
Let's talk about Strand getting his water bottle. He gets given it. He starts drinking it. He's been in here, all of 10 minutes, and he starts fucking drinking this like he's never had water before. And then it's the return of DS, not Nintendo. It's Daniel Salazar. "I told you I'd be your guardian angel." And the episode ends. Like, see Daniel Salazar returning, it should have the effect of a big deal, because this is Fear, and he's one of the few main characters. But I, quite frankly, couldn't give a damn.
No, I think Daniel appearing after what, like 7, 8, 9 episodes. Like you said, it should have a big. It should have a big feeling to it, but I don't know. It didn't really. It really didn't. No, it just didn't.
It didn't. It fell flat in its face. I mean,
if you compare this to, let's say, Meryl.
Yeah, same episode. Episode 3 of season 3.
It's like Meryl felt huge, and we hadn't been missing him as much. And Meryl'd only really been in like one episode, then like the beginning of the next, and then a little fucking not a flashback, but illusion.
Yeah.
So if you look at Meryl's screen time compared to Daniel's, I mean Meryl's had like a small percentage of it. Yet when Meryl came back, it felt like a big deal. When Daniel came back, it was like, oh well, there's Daniel.
There he is. Right, I'm going to give this episode a 2 out of 10. Honestly, fuck it, the season's going downhill quick.
Yeah, pretty big drop off.
I just felt a lot of the stuff was cringe. And I shouldn't be saying that about a TV show.
Yeah, you know what? I'm struggling to get. What did I like about it?
See the Alicia stuff and the Nick and Troy stuff? It's something you'd see on Nickelodeon. Like, I don't even know how I came to that, but that's what it was like to me.
Be interested to see what Trev Chan gave this.
I'd probably get a fucking 9.1.
I'm gonna get a 3. It wasn't a great episode. Unfortunately, there's a trend where season 3 started off pretty good actually. Then the next episode was all right. Now this episode was bad, so yeah, we'll wait and see. Will episode be better? Episode 4 be better? Let's hope so.
Let's hope so, guys. But that's 2.5 out of 10. Until then, next one's called 100, and we'll see you. It's this show. We'll get nowhere near that, but until then, peace.